Morning. Today is May 20th, 2025. My name is Frank Carroll, and I am your Department IT Director. Today, we're going to be talking about reports, specifically reports that adjutants do. So let's first talk about why the adjutant does a report. So the Post Adjutant's Guide says just like this. In the American Legion, the adjutant is the certifying official because they are the primary administrative officer, responsible for maintaining accurate records, communicating with members, and ensuring the post adheres to organizational policies. The adjutant's role is to verify the eligibility and status of members, keep track of membership records, and report information to higher authorities, including the department headquarters. All right, so with that in mind, now we're going to get into a report that the adjutant is required to do. There's a bunch of pages to this, but every year the post would typically receive a mail out from department, and it would have these paper forms in there. The first one obviously is a list of all of your officers in the post. So we got the post officer report form. Everybody's that's done this form before or seen it, pretty familiar with it. It's looked the same for many years. Then we have the certification of service record for the officers. The adjutant also is responsible for doing that. Then we have this form here. It comes from National. This notifies who the post commander, post adjutant, and if you have an SAL squadron, who the SAL squadron commander and adjutant are. This form is specifically used to give mylegion.org permissions to those leaders so that they can lead the squadron and the post as far as My Legion is concerned. So that's a breakdown of some of the reports that had to be done. Then you got the annual post data report, right? It collects information about your post as far as what your dues are, when you have your meeting, some of the stuff like that. So what we've tried to do, you could see that there's a lot of paper here. I mean, this was being printed and mailed to every single post in the department. It's a really high cost of printing and shipping for a paper form that we could go digital on. And so this year we're really pushing digital, and it's been going well. And so in this video, I'm going to cover some of that stuff so that if there are open questions that you have about how to do these reports digitally, this should clear that up. And if you still have questions, always reach out to me. You can email support@azlegion.org, or of course you can reach me directly at webmaster@azlegion.org. Let's dive into the next step, which is how to do these forms digitally. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come to the department website. It's azlegion.org. Right here on the main menu, you're going to go to forms, and the very first one is the post officer report form. So this post officer report form combines all of those documents I just showed you into one easy to use screen. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to pick your post number. What's the name of your post? What's the address? All of the same things that are on those paper sheets. That's all it's doing is asking you all of those questions. So as you get through here, you'll finish all your questions. I'm going to pause right here to show you this part that's not on one of those forms. We have something called distro list in our Exchange email system. And just to explain what a distro list is it's not a mailbox. It's an email address, but it doesn't hold mail. You can't send an email from it. What happens in a distro list is when you send an email to a distro list, it gets forwarded to whoever's on the distribution list. So what I have been doing is creating distro lists specifically for committees, posts, different sections of our department. So in this section, what you could do if you don't have one or you want one, or if it needs to be updated, you can elect to have a distro list. And what the value to this, honestly, is for things like if you're printing business cards, or if you're printing flyers, or if you just want to put something more professional together to put out in front of your marketing efforts and things like that, you can put out post 100 at azlegion.org, or post 5 at azlegion.org versus someone's personal email account when their position might change next year or the year after, or having your at azlegion.org email under our domain is always more professional than using a Gmail, Hotmail, or something like that. This is free of charge to you, so it doesn't cost anything. So to break down how that works is that on this form, you will elect who receives those messages when an email is sent to post 100 at azlegion.org. That can be up to 3 people. And so we're not going to tell you how to use that distro list if you want it. we're going to let you tell us how you want to use that distro list. So the first thing you're going to do is tell us who's going to receive the messages once we set that up for you. And so you put their name in there, uh, what their email address is of where these emails will get forwarded to. So like my email, if it's Frank Harrell uh, at azlegion.org, I can make it to where anytime someone sends an email to post 100 at azlegion.org, it just gets forwarded on to Frank Harrell at azlegion.org. So wherever you want those messages forwarded, you're going to put that email address here, and then you're going to tell us what position that person holds at the post. If you need more than one person, all you do is hit an add button. It'll give you the second one and obviously the third one. So you can hit the remove to remove anybody that you may not need. And that's what the distro list section is used for, is to create or update a distro list for you. So you have a very professional looking email that's tied to your post that won't go away. So as people's positions change, we'll just change where the emails get forwarded for that year. And that's based off your yearly report. All right, so moving on. Now we're going to dive into the officers. So just as we said, the adjutant's required to these reports, we always collect the adjutant's information on this report because we need to know who's certifying all of these officers that are being submitted to us. So the adjutant is the only required officer position on the form. You'll see that that is shown here, that there's an asterisk, and so those are the required ones. Adjutant, only required one. So the adjutant goes in, fills out all their information, just the same questions that are on those paper forms. Each post is different, and we understand each post is different. Some posts have service officers, some don't. Some posts have a baseball committeeman, some posts don't. And that's okay. So what we've done is we made this form to where you pick what you need. So after the adjutant, you're going to go through here and you're going to pick whatever position you need. If a position's not listed, all you have to do is come down here and say other, not listed, and then you fill in what that position is here. So if you use this, you enter that in. If you don't use it, you don't have to use that answer there. So that's to name some other position if you have that in your post. So you'll start off, list your commander, all of his information. When you get down here underneath the commander, you just say add another officer. You can add your second person. So next, maybe you want to add your first vice commander. List all of their information. Add another officer. Keep going and keep going, right? If you need to, you can remove one out of there. So let's say that you come here for the first year, you submit all of your officers. We get down here to my post has an SAL squadron. This is that form that gives my Legion permission. So you're going to fill in if you have a squadron and say, yes, I have a squadron. It's going to ask you their information. If you say no, you won't have to fill that question out. So then you get into my post has an American Legion Riders program. If you say yes, obviously you need to tell us who chairs your American Legion Riders program. I'm sorry, trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Then you're going to choose the chairman's entity. So obviously the ALR can be chaired by someone from any entity, so just let us know who that is. All right, and then last but not least, if you have an auxiliary unit, you're just going to give us the point of contact and phone and email for if someone has a question about the auxiliary, who do we send them to? So that's what that question's for. Like we said many, many times in this video, the adjutant's signing off saying that they certify that these officials, are members and that they have a right to hold this position that they're holding. So you're going to put the date of submission, you'll sign your name with whatever, and hit submit. All right. So I'm going to go through a couple little pointers on this. First off, if you read this line here, when you submit this form, you will get a copy of everything you put in this report to whatever email address you put in the adjutant's email field. So way up here in the adjutant section, this email right here, whoever's email address is in there will get a copy from me the moment that the submit button is hit. It may take 2-3 minutes based on the internet and the website and stuff like that, but you will get an email back. All right. When you hit submit, this can be a lengthy form, and so I want to point out that we have save and resume later turned on for this form. What happens when you do that is you'll see that I have answered some questions on here. If you hit save and resume, it's letting you know that this is going to save a copy on our website, but that doesn't mean it was submitted. All right. So what you have to do is just acknowledge that. It's going to take a second. It gives you a link. So you save this link, or you can put your email in there. if you put your email and hit send link, it's going to send that same link to your email address. And what this does is for 30 days, it holds your report in there to where you can come back and finish it later. So if you don't come back within 30 days, your report will be lost. You'll have to start over. But since it's a lengthy form, you can resume later if you need to. And so that's done by either copying this link out and saving it. Come to that link later. All your questions will still be there as long as it's within 30 days. Or put your email and keep the email so that you don't lose the link. All right, so that's save and resume later. To get back to the post officer report form, easy to find, right in the forms drop down, very first option. So when you're ready, you hit submit to department. The moment you hit submit, like I said, you'll get a copy. The headquarters staff will get a copy, and a copy of it will get placed on record on the website. What we do at the end of the year is we take all of these submissions and submit them to the national headquarters as one submission, so that we don't have to scan multiple hard copies and submit them. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about the directory. And I know that that's a point of stress is the easiest way to put it for a lot of people. In our directory, you will see that there is a section in the very back for post information. That's here. So if you've ever wondered why things are yellow and why things are red, those are based on posts that are submitting on time, or not submitting at all, right? And so what we're aiming to do is go all digital at some point, and we have to start that now. And so I will be the first to tell you that in the near future, all of these sections for your post will be derived directly from the things you put on that form. So if your SAL squadron is blank, that would only mean once we go digital that it's only blank because you left it blank. Or if your service officer is not listed, then you left it blank. So what we're going to talk about is the next step is what happens when an officer changes, right? So let's say you have your service officer there and he changes. He's on your directory. Everybody's calling him like, oh, that's not the service officer anymore. Now we're going to show you what to do about that. So go back to the post officer report form. I want you to remember what I said in the beginning is that the adjutant is the only required officer on here. And that's because he's certifying, right? So what's going to happen is on his second submission, what will happen is he'll still fill out all his information, letting us know who the adjutant is certifying. But on this time that he puts it, he's submitting a new service officer, so he's only going to put the service officer. Put that person's information in here, and when you hit submit, we'll still have all those old submissions on record, but whatever the newest submission is, those things will be new. So if you have a new service officer, or let's say you have a new service officer and a second vice commander, you can put just the two of those on there, and we'll know these two submissions are to replace the old submissions. And what will happen once the directory goes fully digital, your submission will automatically update that second vice commander and that service officer to whoever your newest submission is. So that's how we plan to go forward with the directory as far as the post side is concerned. And that's really needed because I will tell you, if you've ever wondered why the directory takes so long, it's just getting so many different people in so many different lanes to submit their information, get it submitted right, and not have to make too many changes. And so we do a lot of back and forth, and we're trying to streamline that so that that back and forth kind of comes down and we can get the directory out in a much quicker timeline. So I know I covered a lot. The point of me talking fast and all that is for you to be able to hit pause, rewind, or reach out to me if you have questions still. But I hope this kind of helped you with your post officer report form. For all you district adjutants, you still have a district officer report form. It's done, 99% the same way, just pertaining to your district. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So if you have questions, fire them back at me. But hopefully this helps and we can continue driving forward the submission. I will tell you as of today, May 20th, we have over 44 submissions into that form right now, I think. And so not all of those are from this year, but the majority are. And so I want to commend you for doing that stuff digitally. I promise you, if you keep trusting and just pushing through this, it's going to make your life easier the more we automate. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Look forward to seeing you at convention coming up.